Chapter 15. Zijn some chills kom doen van Judea, on stertitude te learnvolk, gin they warna circumcised according to the laws of Moses. They couldn't be solved. Paul and Barnabas argued sare with them about this. So they made up their minds, Paul and Barnabas, we a few other folkies, should young to Jerusalem and see if the errand sends on elders hid to say about this. Doric accordings sent them on their way, and as they gaed through Phoenicia and Samaria, they told all about who Gentiles had been converted, and all Doric accordings folk were fine pleased to hear about it. From they won to Jerusalem, they got a grand welcome for Doric accordings on the errand sends on the elders, and they told them all about who Aul Mither had been working through them. But the few Pharisees, who had turned believers, steed up and held out, they beat to be circumcised, and uphold the laws of Moses. The errand sends on the elders called a meeting to think about this. After they'd argued it rune on rune, Steenie steed up among them and said, Men and brothers, ye ken at a guid while ago, Aul Mither picked me to be the een fas mu should speak a word to the Gentiles, say that they should believe. And Aul Mither, for can read a child's mind, should he was pleased enough with them begin them a pure spirit, just as he did with his, making nae difference atween them and his, redden out their hearts with faith. That why sign div ye kittle up Aul Mither, bepitten sick hames on the shoulders of his devout followers, alike of fit neither his nor were fathers could carry. Na, it's be mercy o Meester Jesus, we're solid be faith, just like they are. Nobody spoke, as Paul and Barnabas told o signs and wonders, at Aul Mither had worked through them among Gentiles. From they were through speaking, still all were quiet. On yim spoke out, Men and brothers, hearken to me. Simeon his teltes, fu Aul Mither first shewed he hid some thought for Gentiles, betaken for among them a folk for should carry his name. It agrees we are words of prophets, as Scripture says. After this, I'll come back and big up again a tabernacle o David, as fine. I'll big up the ruins of it, and I'll set it up. And they micht seek a master, all the other chills o a world, and the Gentiles, for I've claimed for my ain. Say says a master, for made his things, Kent, for a beginning o a world. My opinion is that we didn't put anything in a way o Gentiles, for I've turned to Aul Mither. Rather, we've read to them, telling them to hold away for anything made feel be idols, for immoral sex, or non-marital sexual intercourse, for eating beef, for a beast that's been strangled, or tasting bleed. After all, for mony's a long year, Moses had chills preaching in ilka tune, and has been read out in a synagogue's ilka Sabbath. Sign the errand sends on elders along with a hail Doric callings, selected folk for among their ain, to gang with Paul and Barnabas to Antioch. They selected 12 heed bummers for a company, Judas Barsabbas and Silas, they gied them a letter to talk with them, saying, The Aaron sends on elders, for your brothers send greeting to our folk, for our Gentiles in Antioch, Syria, and Cilicia. We've been hearing at some of our folkies have vexed ye a bitty, and filled your heads. We worry, we fit they have been saying, Nay at ony oed come is. We are all, or a mine, to send ye chosen folkies, fair moys, we were friends Barnabas and Paul, chills, 5 risked their lives, for a name of our Master Jesus and Nitatin. Say we've sent ye Judas and Silas, for we'll tell ye a same thing, be word o' moo, 'cause it seemed richt to a pure spirit, and to is, nay to lay on ye ony greater load, nor wist nothing. At's to say, ye maun haud for eaten mate, at's been offered to idols, taste and bleed, eaten beef for a beast at's been strangled, on non-marital sexual intercourse. Haud awa for sick like, on ye winna gyong far wrong. Cheerio. Say awa they gaed on travelled doon to Antioch, for they gathered a congregation together, and honnet our letter till them. Oneens they'd read it. They were rail teen wi' it, and took heart fa' it. Judas and Silas were baith guy guid preachers, and strengthened and heartened a brothers, bither say awa. After they'd been there a while, they were sent back wi' all guid cheer to the Aaron sends. But Paul and Barnabas bade on in Antioch, preaching and learning a folk a word o' a Master, along wi' mony other folk too. A few days after Paul said to Barnabas, Fit to boot gone back to all atunes, far we've been, afore, to see fu were folkies there are getting on. Barnabas was wintin' to talk John Mark wi' them, but Paul wasna our keen on taking a chill, for I deserted them in Pamphylia, and wasna willing to gang wi' them in their work. The twa of them were at odds about it, sae muckle so, at they gaed their separate ways. Barnabas talking Mark wi' him, to Cyprus, and Paul, chosen Silas, set out on his road, commended to a mercy o' a Master, be brothers. He travelled through Syria and Cilicia, strengthening a Doric accordings. Chapter 16. Sign he gaed to Derbe and Lystra, for a devout follower called Timothy bade. His mither was a Yao, for believed on his father was a Greek. Timothy was weel fokta, be a Doric accordings folk, at Lystra and Iconium, and Paul wanted him to gang wi' him on his travels. A'body kent his father was a Greek, sae Paul had him circumcised to please a Yaos thereabouts. As they made their way fae tune to tune, they honnet on a decision ta'en by the Aaron sends in Jerusalem for them to talk tento. Sae daily day, a Doric accordings grew stronger, and a number of folk was aye yon up. They made their way through Phrygia and Galatia, but the pure spirit forbade them to speak or make this word in Asia. When they come to Mysia, they tried to get in to Bithynia, but the Spirit of Jesus wouldn't allow them. So they held on by Mysia, and come down to Troas, for a vision appeared to Paul a night. A chiel fae Macedonia was standing prigging wi' him, saying, Come o'er to Macedonia and help us. As soon as Paul saw his vision, we did all we could to hold on to Macedonia, thinking Aul Mither had cried on is, to gie them a good news. So we sailed away for Troas, and held a straight course to Samothrace, on an east day to Neapolis. For there we gaed to Philippi, a main tune in that bit of Macedonia, on a Roman colony. We bade there for a few days, and on a Sabbath we gaed out o' a tune, and doon till a water, for we thought there would be a placey for praying. We sat doon and spak till a weeman fad gathered there, and a wifey called Lydia, fa silk purple-coloured claith, and fa come fa Thyatira, was hearkening to fit we were saying. She already believed in Aul Mither, and she opened her heart to talk in fit Paul was saying. After she and all them fa bade in her house was immersed, she says to us, "Gin ye think I'm a true believer in a maester, come doon and bide in my house." And she wouldn't talk no for an answer. A day, as we were heading for a place of prayer, we met in wi' a quiney, fa had a second sicht, and made a hantle of siller for her maesters, before telling fit was to be. She followed Paul and his, roaring out to her, "Is child's work for a maist he Aul Mither, and they're telling ye a way of salvation." She did this day in and day out, till Paul could pit up wi' it nae longer. Turn't and spak till a spirit in her, "I command ye in the name of Jesus Anitatin to come out of her," and straight awa out it come. But when her maesters saw their siller mocking product was knocked on the head, they took hold of Paul and Silas and hauled them off afore the authorities in a marketplace. They brought them afore a shearers and said, "Is chills are yows and are causing a muckle stir here in wer tune. They're learning folk wise and are nae mouse for is as citizens of Rome to accept or follow." A crude joint in attacking them, and the shearers ordered that they be stripped of their clays and strucken wi' sticks. Syne, after gieing them a guid organ, they threw them into a jail, and telled the jailer to keep his eye on them. Thinking he'd better nae get it wrong, he put them into a forest ben bit of a jail, and bun their feet in the stocks. About midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns to Aul Mither, and now to their folk in the jail hearkened till them. Von all a sudden there was an Aul Mither earthquake. It shook a very foons of a jail. Straight awa, all the doors flew open, and everybody's chains were loosed. A jailer, walking up and seeing all the doors open, drew his sword and was about to deal wi' himself, 'cause he thought all the folk that were in a jail had gotten out. But Paul shouted to him, "Dinna harm yourself, we are all here." Syne a jailer cried for licks to be fessen, rushed in, and shocking all over, flung himself down afore Paul and Silas. He brought them outside and said, "Sirs, fit maun I do to be salved?" And they answered, "Believe in a Master Jesus, and you'll be salved, aye, you and everybody in your house." Syne they told him, and all them in his house, a word of a Master. And there, at siccan an hour o' a nicht, he took them and washed their sair bitties, and him and all his family were immersed there and then. Syne he took them into his house, and gied them something to eat. And he and his hale house were our amin at finding faith in Aul Mither. And van morning come, Eshira sent Eshira officer we a word. Let that chiels go. A jailer tell this to Paul we a words. Eshira says you're to be lot newt. Say nu you can hold a wa they here and talk a road in peace. But Paul said to the Shira officers, they clout it is afore all. We nae even a trial, and they flung us in a jail, even though we're Roman citizens, or sons of the city. And knew they went to see a baka is, without ony body kennin we're awa. Shira officers gaed back till Shiras, for guy sair comat, from they heard a chiels were Romans. So they come to a jail, and said they were sorry. Led them out, and speared at them, gin they would haud awa out o a tune. When they left the jail, Paul and Silas gaed to Lydia's house, and after they'd seen the brothers, and spoke heartening words till them, they held awa. Chapter 17. Now they travelled through Amphipolis, and Apollonia, and come to Thessalonica, for there was a Jewish synagogue, and Paul, as was his way, gaed till them, and for a neast 3 Sabbaths he argued a scripture with them, reading out bitties, and explaining who it meant at the Messiah, or Anitadine, hid to suffer, and syne rise again, fair deed. And this Jesus, from reason out afore ya, he said, is Aul Mither's Anitadine. A few of them took wit, and joined up with Paul and Silas, and sae did a fair puckle o' Greeks, and well-dean women. But the yows that didna talk with them, were some jealous o' them, and kittled up a hantle o' cards, raised up a collishangy, and set the tune in a manure. They mobbed Jason's house, trying to fess Paul and Silas out afore a crowd. When they couldn't find them, they trailed Jason and a few o' brothers afore a shearer's shooting. This is a chiels 5 turned a warl heelster goaty, and knew if come here. Jason is teen them into his house, and they dee off then counter till the laws o' Caesar, saying there's another king called Jesus. Be saying this, they caused a dirham among a crowd, on the shearers tea, and they wouldn't allot Jason, on the others awa without bidding them hour to keep a peace. At night, a brother sent Paul and Silas awa to Beroea. Ance they won there, they gaed till a Jewish synagogue. A Jews there were mair civil nor the Eans at Thessalonica. They were etling to talk in the word, and study the scriptures ilka day, to see gin fit they were saying was richt. Mony of them become believers, and sae did some well-dean Greek women, and men too. But when a Jews of Thessalonica got to hear at Aul Mither's word was being preached by Paul at Beroea, they come there too to kittle up a folk. A brothers there straightway sent Paul along ashore, but Silas and Timothy bade there. A chiels for wee Paul took him a length o' Athens. Syne come awa wi' instructions for Silas and Timothy to join him as soon as they could. Now as Paul was swaiting for them in Athens, he was sair come at to see fu a hale tune was fu a idols. Sae he argued about it wi' a Jews i' the synagogue, wi' a Aul Mither fearing Gentiles, and even at the merit, we a folk passing by. Some o' a Epicurean, on stoic, clever chills, fell in wi' him. And some of them said, Fit's this chill bleaterin' on aboot. Others said, I think he's trying to tell us about some new kind of Mictiane. 'Cause he was preaching about Jesus on a resurrection. Say they took him and brought him afore their council, the Areopagus, spearing at him. Can ye tell us fit this new learning you're speaking about is all about? You're fessing guy queer things to our lugs, and we're seeking to find out fit's a meaning o' it. You see, all the Athenians and the foreigners that were there were out to speak about or hear about anything that was new. Saint Paul stood up before a council and said, Men o' Athens, I can see you're all very religious. As I was making my way here and looking at the things ye worship, I saw an altar fit said, Ta Mictiane, for nobody kens. This is a Mictiane you're worshipping in your feelness, and I'm here to preach to you about. Almighty for made a world and all thing in it, being a master of both heaven and earth, doesn't abide in kirkies made by human hands, nor is he worshipped by human hands, as though he needed anything, seeing he's the een that gies to all folk, life and breath and all other thing. He created ilka clan for the a forbear, to bide all our hale world. He is worked out from their gyan to live, and for their gyan to bide. Say they must seek Almighty, in a hope they must feel for him, and come on him. Though he's nae very far fra ony o' us. Aye, it's in him we live and move, and have our very existence. Some o' your ain poets have said, There's nae doubt we're his bairns. Say then, gin we be Almighty's bairns, we mauna think on Almighty, like being gold or silver or steen, shoppit by skeely hands o' men. Almighty has our lookit at times o' ignorance, and new cries on all men to have a change in thoughts and feelings. Ye see, he set the day van he'll judge a hale world, and judge richt gate, be a chill o' his choisin. He's gien proof o' us to all, by reason him fair deed. When they heard about their reason fair deed, some of them look at him. But others said, We'd like to hear ye speak more about this some other time. So Paul held a war fair more them. But some did join wi' him, and turned believers. Een of them being Dionysius, een o' a counselors o' Areopagus, a woman called Damaris, and a few others too. Chapter 18. After that, Paul held a war for Athens, and came to Corinth. There he fell in tow wi' a yow called Aquila, for came for Pontus, and his guidwife Priscilla. He was nae long come for Italy, 'cause Claudius had ordered at all yows should leave Rome, and 'cause he had the same trade, he bade and walked wi' them. Ye see, they made tents. He spake in a synagogue ilka Sabbath, trying to persuade both yows and Greeks. By the time Silas and Timothy arrived from Macedonia, Paul was fully ta'en up in preaching the word, shewing the yows that Jesus is a Antitin. But when they countered him and spake ill to him, he wagged his clays at them and said, Your bleed be on your ain heads. It's nae o' my doing. I'm a wa' to Gentiles. Syne he left them on gaed till a house o a chiel called Titus Justus. A chiel for worshipet Aul Mither on bade neath door till a synagogue. On Christmas a heed bummer o a synagogue. We all them in his house turned to be a believer in a meester. On mony o a folk o Corinth, for heard him, believed and were immersed. Syne a night, a meester spake to Paul in a dream. Dinna be feared, speak out, and dinna hold your tongue, 'cause I'm wi' ya, and nobody will harm ya. There's a fair few is tune belong to me. Say Paul settled there for 18 months, preaching a word Aul Mither amo them. Syne, at the time when Gallio was governor of Achaia, a yows there all got together and brought them till a court, saying, Is Giles Garan folk worship Aul Mither in a way at counter till a law? Paul was about to speak when Gallio said till a yows, gin he'd committed a crime or done something wrong, I would hae fairly teen wi' you yows. But gin it's just some bickering about word and name and your ain yow laws, ye maun see to things yourselves. I'm haeing naething to do wi' it. And he hid them flung out the court. Syne they took a hod o Sosthenes, a heed bummer o a synagogue, and beat him up in front o a court. But Gallio didna care a dockin about it. Paul bade there for a fair filey after aught. Syne said, Cheerio till a Doric folk, and sailed awa to Syria, talking Priscilla and Aquila wi' him. At Centuria he hid all his hair cut it off, 'cause a view he'd teen. They come to Ephesus, and he left them there and gaed on till a synagogue himself, and argued wi' a yows. When they spirit at him to bide a filey longer, he said, Nah, and left them wi' a words, Gin it be Aul Mither's will, I'll be back to see ye. And he sailed awa to Ephesus, and gaed to Caesarea. He gaed and plied his respects till a Doric Syne gaed doon to Antioch. After spending a filey there, he left and travelled all over a countryside, o Galatia and Phrygia, gien heartening to all a devout followers there. Knew a yow called Apollos, who was born in Alexandria, a guy weel spoken chiel, and weel learnt i' the scriptures, come to Ephesus. He'd been learnt in a way o a meester, and spak richt forsy all about Jesus. Though he kent bit o a immersion o York, a chiel started to speak out o him in a synagogue. For Priscilla and Aquila heard him and took him in hand, and put him richt in a wise Aul Mither. He went to gang our to Achaia, and the Doric folk gied him all a heartening, and wrote a letter to a devout followers there, telling them to gie him a welcome. When he arrived, he was a great ease to them, for believed through mercy. Wi' his talking word, he dong doon a yows, shewing to all, by a word o a scripture, Jesus is a nitateen. Chapter 19. When Apollos was in Corinth, Paul travelled across a country, till he come to Ephesus. There he come on to some devout followers, and he spirit at them. Did he talk in a pure spirit when you turned believers? Nah, they said, we've never even heard of such a thing as a pure spirit. Well then, he said, fit kind of immersion was ye gien. York's immersion, they answered. York's immersion was a kind of immersion for them that turned fae their ill ways, said Paul. And he told folk that they maun believe in the een that come after him. That's to say, in Jesus. When they heard this, they were immersed in a name of a Master Jesus. On sign, when Paul had put his hands on them, a pure spirit settled on them, and they spoke in queer tongues and prophesied. There was about a dozen of them in all. Sign Paul gaed in till a synagogue, and spoke richt forsy about 3 months, arguing and persuading all about the kingdom of Aul Mither. But some of them were thrown, and wouldna believe, and Fitzmare spoke ill o a way afore a congregation. Paul left them, took awa his devout followers, and fae then on hid his say awa in a squeal o a lad called Tyrannus. Is gaed on for 2 year, and say all a folk in Asia, both Yao and Greek, heard a word o a Master. And Aul Mither did wonderful things at the hands of Paul. Van hankies and cloots at Paul had hunnelled were teen till a nae wheel. They come all better, and their ills and ill feel spirits come out o' them. But some yows at trail to boot a contra, chasing feel spirits out of folk, tried to ease a name o' a Master Jesus, our folk they were trying to cure. They would say, I command ye, be a Master Jesus, for Paul preaches. There was Stephen or Skiva, a head priest loons, at this product. A time, a feel spirit spoke back to them and said, we ken Jesus fine, and Paul we ken tee, but fa would he be? On a chill fa hid a feel spirit in him, loupet on the heat o' them, overcome them, and hunnelled them in sick a forsy way, at they took fleeing out o' a hoose, wi' their clays hinging off o' their backs, and guy sair hurted. Allbody in Ephesus, Yao and Gentile baith, come to ken o' us. They were all awestrucken, and the name o' a Master Jesus was gien guy honour. Mony them that new took wi' a faith, come for it, and ain't up about fit they'd been deen afore. A few that had been using magic brought their books and brunt them for all to see. They counted up fit the books were worth, and it come to be about 50,000 bits of silver. Say a word o' a Master was growing in strength and spreading out. After siccan goings on, Paul made up his mind to gang to Jerusalem, but why o' Macedonia and Achaia, saying, after I've been there, I maun see Rome tee. Say he sent 2 o' his lads, Timothy and Erastus, to Macedonia, but he bade on for a filey in Asia. Now about that time, a muckle deardom got up about the way. A chiel called Demetrius, a silversmith, for made him wee shrinies out of silver for Diana, and brought in a guy lot of work for his tradesmen, gathered his men together, wi' chiels fae either trades, and said to them, Now, my chiels, ye ken at where wealth depends on his doing is kind of work, and ye hear and see fu his lord, Paul, nae just here in Ephesus, but guy near our a hale o' Asia, has managed to persuade a guy few folk at Mictianes made by men's hands, are nae Mictianes ava. Now there's some fear at where work micht bethought the war on the temple o' a great Mictiane Diana, micht nae longer be respected. On mair nor aught, there's fear they'll dinger doon to Nathan. Her fa the hail o Asia. I, guy near a hail warl worships. When they heard this, they were sair raised, and roared to them, Diana o the Ephesians is a been them all. There was a Stromish got up through a hail tune. They took hold of Gaius and Aristarchus, from Macedonia, who'd been travelling with Paul, and hauled them forsy-like into a show ring. Paul himself went to Tagyong in a more crude, but the devout followers wouldn't allot him. Moreover, some of Paul's cronies, for Guy wheel up a council, sent a message bringing we him nae Tagyong into a show ring. In the meantime, some were shooting nae thing, and some another, and all mortal body was throw either, 'cause most of them had nae notion of fit why they were there of all. A chiel called Shawners was shived for be yows. On wagging his hand he tried to speak out wi' a defence, but as seen as they jaloused he was a yow, they all roared out o' them for about 2 hours. Diana o' the Ephesians is a been them all. But in the hindereen, a toon clerk managed to quieten them and said, You chiels fae Ephesus, fa in the world disna ken where toon o' Ephesus has a temple of Diana, and not image o' her. At fell doon fae Jupiter and Sel, at fox at win a ding. Say hold your weast, and dinna get say work it up. Ye've halt this lads here, and they dinna thief fae your temple, nor speak ill over McDeane. Gin Demetrius and his tradesmen went to press charges again ony man, well, a law's there and says a shira. Let them talk them to court. Begin your seeking mair nor aught answered. Sign ye maun talk it till the assembly. I wouldna winner though, we myth be charged wi' rioting for this day's work, as we've nae excuse for sic a Stromish. On saying this, he sent a meeting awa hame. Chapter 20. After a Stromish had deet doon, Paul cried on a devout followers, and we agreed word to kittle them up. He said cheerio till them, and held awa to Macedonia. As he gaed through at parrots, he spoke mony heartening words till a folk. Syne gaed on to Greece, for he bade for 3 months. Syne, just as he was about to set sail for Syria, he found out that the yows were plotting to deal till him. So he made up his mind to gang back away of Macedonia. Sopater, Pyrrhus Lune, fe Beroia, 2 lads fe Thessalonica, called Aristarchus and Secundus, Gaius fe Derbe, Timothy, and 2 lads fe Asia. Tychicus and Trophimus gaed wi him. Is Borachia lads gaed on to Troas to wait for us there, and we sailed for Philippi after a Passover season was by way, and joined up with them 5 days after Troas, for we bade a hale week. On the first day of the week, from the devout followers were agither to brock loaf, Paul, for was gone to believing in this day, preach it till them. On his sermon gaed on till midnight. Knew there was a fair few lampies burning in the upper stairs roomy, for they were hand were meetney. On a halfling called Eutychus, for was sitting on a windowsill, was nodding awa as Paul droned on and on. I the hindereen, sleep got the better of him, and he fell down for a 3rd fleer, and was picked up for deed. But Paul gaed down, leant o'er him, and holding him in his bosie, said, Dinna fash yourselves, there's life in him yet. Syne he gaed back up the stairs, On efter breaking loaf on nettin, he noosed on amo them, till shriek o' day. On sign held a wall. They took Looney hame alive, with a guy relief till them. We gaed on ahead till a boaty, on sailed for Assos, thinking we would pick up Paul there, 'cause that's fit had been spoken about, seeing as he was gone hour along. When we met in wi' him at Assos, we took him on board, and gaed on till Mytilene. We sailed awa fae there, and on a nice day come till a shore off Chios. A day after we crossed over to Samos. On a following day, we come till Miletus. Paul had made his mind up to sail by Ephesus, 'cause he wouldn't have went to spend muckle time in Asia. He was hoping he would mark Jerusalem in time for a Pentecost. From Miletus, he sent to Ephesus to cry the elders o' Doric according to him. And when they appeared, is as fit he said to them, "Ye all can find, who have bidden amo ye, fae die a first set fit in Asia. Ye ken who have served the Master, I, in a humble way. On the tears that have gotten our all a sair fex, I've hid through a products o' a yows. Ye ken, I've never keep it back nathan that was for your ain guid, but have been preaching till ye baith for all could see, and in your ain hames. I spoke to baith yows and Gentiles, learning ye a change in thoughts and feelings afore Almighty, on faith in our Master Jesus. And now, here I am, girt by a spirit to haud for Jerusalem. I dinna ken fit'll happen till me there, except at the pure spirit, his warnt me at Tyrannesan and Jael were waiting for me in ilka tune. But I dinna care a dockin, my life is nae worth a bawbee till me, as long as I can haud till a furrow, and weir on till a hinereen a work, at the Master Jesus gied till me, in spreading the good news o' a mercy o' Almighty. Nu I ken weel enough at all youings, for I've preached the word Almighty amo, will never see my face nae mair. That's why I maun tell ye straight, at I have nae worries about ony o' youings. I've never held for telling ye a hail Almighty's workings. Say look after yourselves on ilka flock, at the pure spirit is putting ye in charge o'. Ye're a shepherds Almighty's Doric accordings. A Doric accordings, at the balked we his ain bleed. I ken at after a gang awa, wild beasts will come amo ye, riving at your flocky. Aye, and even fae amo you chiels yourselves. Some will rise up we feel speak. Aye, and even fae amo you chiels yourselves. Some will rise up we feel speak. Aye, and even fae amo you chiels yourselves. Some will rise up with full spec, and lees, trying to draw awa devout followers to follow them. That's a why I'm telling you to keep a lookout. Dinna forget that for 3 year I warn't ilka eno ye nicht an day. We ma een begrotten. Nu I command ye till a Master, until a word o' his mercy, at can big ye up, and gie ye your place amo all them far sanctified. I've never been jealous o' anither man's gowd, or siller, or fancy clays. Aye, and ye ken yourselves, at this hands o' mine have wrought for all my ain wince, and for a wince o' ither folk. I've shown ye fu, through hard work, we maun look after a wike, and maun mind a words o' a Master Jesus, when he said, "Ye'll be mair sealful, van you're gien, rather nor van you're gettin'." we out sailwa. He knelt doon and prayed wi them all. They were all greetin', flung their arms round his neck and kissed him. Fit come as the biggest begeck was him sayin' they would never see his face again. And they all gaed doon wi him till a boaty. Chapter 21. When we won awa for them, we sailed awa on a straight course to Cos, on the next day to Rhodes, and for there to Patara. There we come on a boaty, heading for Phoenicia. We boarded her and set sail. We sighted Cyprus, lifted on a port bow, sailed to Syria, and landed at Tyre. For a boaty was landing its cargy. We sought out devout followers and bade there a whole week. They tell Paul hour and hour at through a spirit they had a feeling he shouldn't have gone to Jerusalem. But when where time was up, we held awa on were travels. They all come out to see was off. All a women folk and Bernie's tea. Comin' we is till we were out o' a tune. We knelt doon on a shore, and said were prayers, and said cheerio to een another. Syne we boarded a boaty, and a devout followers gaed awa hame. We sailed awa for Tyre, and come to Ptolemais. We met in wi a Borca Caudine folk there, and bade with them for just the a day. And next day, all his ains at where we Paul left and gaed to Caesarea. For we bade at the house of Philip, the evangelist, een of the 7. He had 4 daughters, for werena married, but spoke through a spirit to Almighty. After we'd been there a day or 2, a prophet called Agabus come down from Judea. When he come to see us, he took off Paul's belt and bun up his ain hands and fit and said, "Is is fit thy pure spirit says, is is a vera why a yows at Jerusalem will bind up a chill for ains is belt and han him over till the Gentiles." When we heard him say us, all his ains and the folkies for thereabouts prigged wi him nae to gang up to Jerusalem. Syne Paul answered, "Fit div ye think you're doing, trying to pit the fear of death in 'em wi your greeting faces? I'm ready nae just to be bun up, but to come to my in Jerusalem for a name o' a Master Jesus. Nathan we could say would change his mind, and all we could do was say, a Master's will be deen." And syne haud were tongues. After that we made ready and set out for Jerusalem. A few devout followers for Caesarea come with us and brought us till a house of Nason, a chiel for Cyprus, who'd been a devout follower for a long time, and we lodged with him. When we arrived at Jerusalem, a Borca Caudine folk there gied us a rare welcome. And next day Paul come with us to see James, and all the elders were there. He bade them all good day. Syne told them all about fit Almighty had done amo a Gentiles through his ministry, and when they heard of us, they esteemed Almighty. Syne they said to him, "Ye ken, Maloon, fu mony thousands of yows have teen to believin', and they're all staunch at upholding the law. They've been tilt about you, and fu ye learn all a yows forbide amo a Gentiles to forget about the law of Moses, telling them they mauna circumcise their bairns, nor follow the all wild things. Fit's gone to happen new. There's nae doubt they'll hear you're here. Is fit you mon dee. We have 4 chills here 15 of you. Talk them wi' ye. Be pure feet wi' them. Pie for them getting their hair cutted. Sign all-body will ken there's nae troth in a story's gong aboot. But you yoursel haud wi' a law. As for a Gentiles fa believe, we've sent a lettery till them, telling them they mauna et mate fit's been offered to idols, nor ony bleed, nor ony beast has been strangled and hauled off for non-marital sexual intercourse. Se Paul gaed we a four chills and niece day, and after purifying himself along with them, he gaed in till a temple, to gie a word o a time when a purifying time would be up, and the offering would be made for ilka een o' them. 7 days were just aboot up from the Jews for Asia saw him in the temple. They steered up a crude and grabbed the heart of him, shooting. Men o' Israel, help! This is a lad was learning albody, all why, to nae talk wi' us, nor were law, nor this place. He's even brought Greeks into a temple, and his defiled its pure place. Afore aught, they'd seen him gang aboot the tune with Trophimus, for Ephesus, and had thought he'd fasten him into a temple. A hale tune was kittled up, and folk come rinning fra all directions. They grabbed the heart of Paul, and trailed them out of a temple. And the doors were called tea. They were trying to deal with him, when word got till the lugs o' a colonel, o' a soldiers at the hill of Jerusalem was in a manure. Straight awa he took his soldiers, and his centurions, and gaed herring doon to them. When they saw a colonel and his soldiers, they left Paul alone. A colonel come on Paul, had him lifted, and ordered him to be bun with 12 chains. Syne he spirit fa a chill whiz, and fit had he been deen. Some cried a thing, and some another, and 'cause he couldna get the richt set o' it for all the roaring was gone on, a colonel ordered them to talk him till a barracks. When they got the length o' his steps, a soldiers had to carry Paul 'cause a crude was sae far out the hun. A hale collieshangy of them followed, shouting, "Kill him!" Just as they were going to talk him into the barracks, Paul spirit at the colonel. "Can I tell you something?" "You can speak Greek, can you?" a colonel said. "Are ye nae outlawed for Egypt for nae so long ago, held a carry-on, and led 4,000 murderers into a rock country?" "I'm a yo," answered Paul. "I'm for Tarsus in Cilicia, a citizen o' a nae mean tune. Would ye lot me have a word wi' a folk?" When a colonel told him it would be all right, Paul stayed on the steps and wagged his hand till a crude. And when they were all as quiet as could be, he spoke to them in Hebrew.